Hello, I'm Diana Smith. I'm the admissions tutor for the School of Geography at the University of Southampton. Today I'm going to talk to you about our degree programs, and if you have any questions, feel free to follow up with me afterwards. You've already got the links for the Unibuddy profiles where you can chat to me or another colleague, but I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk to you today about how we teach and how we study geography at the University of Southampton, and how this might reflect your interest in the large global challenges we face around economic and environmental sustainability, population and migration, and all the other issues that we can cover in geography. The great thing about the area, of course, is that it's such a wide-ranging topic. Personally, I do health geography, and I also teach GIS, so I work across human geography and GIS, and I'm not unique in this. Most of my colleagues work across human and physical geography, or across physical geography and GIS. Wherever it is, there's an integration across different sort of skill sets and topic areas, and I hope that appeals to you. You can, of course, focus on something much more close to either human or physical geography if you wish. One of the great things about our degree program here at Southampton is it's very, very flexible. We're very keen on ensuring that you have exactly the kind of degree you want, whether it's a very purely focused on human geography degree or physical geography, or if you build up a great deal of skills in GIS and other technical skills like remote sensing. We're very keen on ensuring that you have the best skills for employability or further study after your education here. And we feel it's very important that you have an excellent experience with small group teaching. So your experience here should be unique to you and exactly what you want to get from it. And this diagram here really shows the way that we approach geography and the way that you can study geography. So if you want to look at the human and physical environment interface, that's easily done. We have several modules which cross-cut both those areas. If you're very keen on understanding how you can use GIS skills in human geography, several of us teach across this area, including myself and Sam Cockins. So this is something which we can easily reflect for you. If you're interested in physical geography and remote sensing, Jadu Dash and Gareth Roberts cover, again, these topics quite well. So it really depends on what your areas of interest are. We have modules which should reflect any of these. I'm just going to go through a few different topics that we cover in both human and physical geography and pick up a little bit on the GIS and remote sensing as well. So as a student here, you would study these sort of questions across your modules between years 1, 2, and 3, and then you can pick up on the one that is most relevant for you for a dissertation topic. For example, in the first question here, which I've posed, we've got an undergraduate student who's just finished his dissertation looking at the impact of virtual retail sales versus high street retail sales. Specifically, his dissertation is looking at the impact of charity shops on the retail high street, and looking at the decline of the retail high street, perhaps as a result of big companies like Amazon. My colleague Julie picks up on migration and development in her third year module by the same name. And then, of course, my own work is very much around social and health inequalities, and I use secondary data sets to understand how these are observed in the population and, crucially, what we can do about it. Brian Harax has a third year module on the creative economy, which is very much about how the creative economy has evolved. And he explores this not just in the UK, but across the world. So again, we have modules which are focused on these sort of topic areas which you can then pick up and develop into your own interest in discrete projects in the modules and in your own third year dissertation project. So hopefully what will happen is you'll come to Southampton, you'll take a few modules, you get inspired along a particular area, whether it's economic geography or health geography or sustainability, and develop this further throughout your career here, and then allow this to develop in your third year dissertation project, which is supervised by one of us. In physical geography, we have an equally wide-ranging set of topics. For example, Jane Hart has a long-standing project on looking at glaciers and how they change in reflection of climate change. We also have a large group of people working on paleoecology, and we've got several microscope labs set up to explore exactly those kind of topics. So as a student, you could pick this up for your second and third year projects, and again, your third year undergraduate dissertation project. My colleague Jo Neal goes around the world studying arid zones, which is of course quite relevant for climate change, and she picks this up in her desert landscapes module in the third year. So again, you have the experience of colleagues who have taught around the world and also have students working with them, and you can work alongside them to develop your own research project to answer these questions as they interest you. Finally, we have a third year module that's set in Cambodia, and it's integrated human and physical geography, looking at water and the landscape. And this is led in part by Steve Darby, who's done an extensive amount of work on flooding in Asian megarivers. But here, we look not just at the physical impacts on the landscape, but the impacts on the societies around there. We also take into account agricultural impacts. So what impact does it have on the sustainability and livelihoods of these households? And what impact is it having on farming? We're very proud of our students here. As a program, we're accredited by the RGS and IBG, but we also have some outstanding students who are recent alumni and current students. We've got two students I'm particularly proud of, two young women, Emily Robertson and Natasha Wellen, who have both achieved high awards from the RGS, IBG for their dissertation projects. Emily was awarded the best dissertation project for health geography in 2018. She did a project using GIS to explore access to GP surgeries and what happens if you close them down. Does it impede access for people who are worse off in more deprived areas? And Natasha Wellen did a very physical geography project. It was coastal erosion, and it won the best overall dissertation prize in 2018, which is quite an honor. She went on to study a master's degree here and did a completely different topic, looking at Twitter data and using tweets to understand how crowds moved around Wimbledon. She then went on to work in retail location planning for Sainsbury's and is now doing a PhD at the University of Oxford. Emily set up 5 work placements for herself in her final year at Southampton. And she then went on to work with one company who are now funding her to become a surveyor, which is what she always wanted to do. So they've done quite well. I also wanted to highlight one of our current students who has developed an excellent Instagram page called Everything Geography. Have a look at it. He's developed this over the last year and it now has 83,000 followers. So if you like geography, please go over to Instagram and have a look at George's site. And there's a link to it at the end of this presentation as well. So our programs, as I said, are meant to be quite flexible. You choose either human or physical geography, but if you decide at the end of year 1, even though you signed up for human geography, actually you're really keen on physical geography, that's fine, you can swap, and vice versa. Year 1 is a foundation in geography, so everyone does the same modules apart from one optional module, which can be in our department or another department. In year 2, you take core modules in your degree program, and then you have optional modules either from the other side of geography or from another degree program altogether, like demography or international relations or environmental science. It's really up to you. In year 3, you have a lot of choice. You do your dissertation project, again, supervised by one of us. So we help you devise the research question, the methodology, and then you take another 6 optional modules. Part of them will be in geography and part will be from any other department in the university, which is open to teaching. So we teach across a lot of different ways, but we really focus on small group teaching. We want to ensure that you have a good experience and that you have a lot of engagement with us. And that starts in year 1 with personal tutor groups. So each year we have small groups of 5 or 6 students who work together with one of us, and you meet every 2 weeks to look at things in greater depth, to kind of gain more study skills and write essays, which we can give you a really good level of feedback on, because there is going to be a difference between what was expected at college and what's expected at university. So we have personal academic tutors, which will be the same for you throughout your entire degree, which I really value. It means that I have a really good relationship with my tutees and I can help them to develop their degrees and in their career after university more effectively because I have a good understanding of, for example, what George has done with his Instagram account and what kind of career aspirations he has. So we work together to make that possible. We have field trips, which I'll talk about in a moment. There's also study abroad options in semester 2 of year 2. Please look at our brochure for more information on that, as well as our year in employment options. There is a good opportunity to take a minor, which is integrated as part of your degree. So for example, you could have a BA in geography with international relations, or you could have a BSc in geography with a minor in sustainability. You don't take any additional modules for this, but you just choose your optional modules carefully through years 1, 2, and 3 to build up to the minor requirements. We're really keen on making sure that you have a good experience here, so you're not just doing exams and essays, because let's face it, in the workplace, we don't often do exams and essays, thankfully. Instead, we give you a range of assessments like policy briefs or small bespoke projects and some group work as well to ensure that you have the right skills to be employable or to do further study after your degree. And there's a few quotes here which I'll pause for a moment and let you read around the flexibility of our program and the flexibility of the modules you can take. Our field trips I'll go through quickly. So year 1, human geography field trip is in Southampton. And again, the human and physical geography students both do the same thing. So you'll go in Southampton, do some ethnographic work looking at the urban built landscape. And you'll also spend time in the New Forest doing some physical geography data collection. And what you do at the end of this is you write up the work in small group projects, and we have a pizza party, and it's actually great fun. We display our posters and talk about what you've learned throughout that week of fieldwork. Year 2, human geography goes to Amsterdam, and those are both included in course fees. In year 3, there's an optional module to Berlin, again, studying the urban landscape. In physical geography, as I mentioned, you start off in the New Forest, but also spending some time in the university in Southampton. And then in year 2, you go to Tenerife. And like in Amsterdam, you'll be doing small group projects with each other, which you'll devise as a team and with your tutors. And it's a week of a really exciting time. There's some lovely videos online, so have a look at the YouTube channel to get a little bit more insight into those field trips. In year 3, there's an optional field trip to the Swiss Alps, which is, again, exciting. Additional course fees are required for the field trip to Berlin or to the Swiss Alps, but we do try to keep those quite manageable and low. In year 3, there's a really exciting new opportunity for an integrated field trip to Cambodia. So this is for both human and physical geography students. And again, it's an experience to look at the landscape. It lasts a little bit over a week, and it's in January. And what better time to get out of Southampton, out of the UK, and go to Cambodia? So again, there's more information online about that, but it's a really exciting opportunity. But it's not just about studying. Southampton is also about a really lovely green space and a nice place to live. It's accessible. It's easy to get around. When you live in halls in year 1, you get a free bus pass. So again, it's a very pleasant environment to be in. There's plenty of opportunities for things you might want to do around water sports or other outdoor activities. We have good access to all the kind of shopping you might need, whether it's a big retail center like West Quay or the practicalities of everyday shopping like Sainsbury's. We're very keen on ensuring that you have a good experience as a student here, so we have an in-house director of student support, Sally Hayward, who's won several awards for this. As I've already mentioned, we do fortnightly tutorials in year 1. Sally has weekly drop-in sessions as well, so you always have access to her for any kind of support. And then there's the centralized enabling services for the university for dyslexia, dyspraxia, or any other kind of situation that you need further support in, to ensure that it's always accounted for in your assessments and that we are aware of any extra support you might need. We're very keen to ensure that you are as well prepared as possible for your degree, for your life after your degree, whether you want to go on to further study or if you want to do something else. And as a result of this, we have events every 2 weeks, whether it's bringing in alumni, which we have a great alumni network, and we're very proud of this, who are very willing to share their experience of how they got into the workplace and what they've learned as a part of this. And they will give that advice to you to understand better how you could prepare for what your career might be after university. We're seeing a lot of students going into new areas like sustainability consulting, which I think is really exciting. And they can also give you hints and tips in terms of your CVs and interviews, and we will as well. I've had at least one student I've supported all the way through doing mock interviews and getting the job that she wanted. So it's something we make sure is a big part of our teaching, is to ensure that you are supported into the next step of your career. If you're interested in teaching, we have a special module called Ambassadors for Geography, where you can have time in classrooms locally to gain that crucial experience for teaching. Of course, all geography departments have great statistics on employability, and we're no different. It's an inherently employable degree. So you can see here we've got 93% of students in work or further study after 6 months of graduation. Geography will take you any range of ways, and there's a separate handout to highlight some of our alumni and talk specifically about the areas they've gone into. And you'll see it covers a wide range of things, from policy to planning to environmental science. So please have a look at that. And I'll just leave with one alumni story from Kathy Sage, who again helped set up a work placement for her at Southampton City Council. And she now works as a sustainability consultant, but she feels that work placement helped her. It was a paid work placement, crucially, 2 weeks looking at some data in the council. And then she was able to work at first one sustainability consultancy company and now another. So what makes geography at Southampton distinctive? I would say it's flexibility overall. We aim to ensure that you have a degree that really reflects your interests, even if they change after year 1. We are strongly supportive of small group teaching, and that includes GIS and technical skills, and we teach GIS to ensure that you have the best possible experience of learning a new software and a new skill at the same time. So we have video tutorials, walkthroughs, several different ways of expressing the information you need to learn. These skills all cross-cut human and physical geography, and we bring in real-world applied examples from our own experience and from our students. And again, this is something we try and reflect in year 3 when you do a dissertation. We go out and seek questions from local businesses and public sector organizations, and I help to devise every year students' dissertation topics that are reflecting actual questions and needs that we have locally. For example, this year I'm working with City Catering in Southampton around holiday food provision for children, and I've got at least one dissertation student who is keen on following this up, and we're looking at how we can devise a research project directly reflecting local requests for more information. So it gives something very applied and useful at the end of your degree. We're very keen on developing your employability from year 1. So we want you to have the confidence and skills to go into the workplace or to do a master's or a PhD as well. And that's something which is shown throughout your degree by joining our network and then attending all the events that we have every week or 2 to support this as well. Thank you so much for your time today. I've got my email address there if you wish to follow up. But again, please have a look at Unibuddy as well and chat with myself or colleagues or the students. There's a few links here for information on minor options I mentioned, which are, again, an excellent opportunity to do something within your degree. And then we've got our YouTube channel, the Everything Geography Instagram, the University of Southampton Instagram, and our own Twitter account. Again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to chatting with you online.